Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Wednesday, July 22nd. And guess what? The names have been thrown out there, or at least chunks of names have been thrown out there. I am trying to pull up the most complete list so that I can kind of briefly scan it and mention it and regurgitate on it. So lots of names have been going around. People have been talking about stuff. And finally, late last night, the names started creeping out there, and I just really didn't want to say any names. I didn't want to be the one to say, this is who's going to be on. I'll certainly comment on what other people have to say and say if I've heard that name much at all. But sometimes you got to wonder the source of your names. I mean, I can say I heard a name yesterday morning from someone who's a journalist who, well, if they're saying the name, then they must have a good source. Does that mean they do or not? How do I know? How do I trust it? Am I hearing it from other places? So you just kind of got to weigh it out and figure out what seems logical. And so, as I said, I had heard names, and I just really didn't want to throw them all out there. I threw out some this morning, but I'm not hearing any particular name that sticks out from others. I think of all the names that I heard, that was the most, I don't even want to say surprising, because anything before like Big Brother 10 would be a bit of a, oh, okay. And so one of those names is Kaysar. Janelle's another name from Big Brother 10, but she's also in Big Brother 14 and Big Brother 7. So Big Brother 6, Big Brother 6, Big Brother 7, and Big Brother 14. So Janelle, not a complete surprise at all, and that's a name that certainly has been going around, but her name gets thrown around a lot. But it does look like she's probably going to be on for her fourth appearance on Big Brother. Danielle Reyes will be on her third appearance if she shows up like we think she's going to, even though she did say, I'm not going to be on it. I always thought she would be. I didn't know why. She always talked about, it was always implied by her that she would be willing to be on Big Brother All-Stars if it ever happened. Like, she was ready to go again. And frankly, I think all of her kids are probably old enough that she can definitely be away from them for a little bit if she needed to or wanted to. And so that's why I thought she was very logical, and then she suddenly said she wasn't going to be. It's like, that's interesting. And then it comes out that, oh yeah, she's probably lying. She probably is on, or we think she's on. So Kaysar was the one that was like, oh, I've heard his name was tossed out. But again, they toss out every single freaking name when you're hearing these things. People are like, oh, it's going to be this person, it's going to be this person. It's like, no, they can't all be on, and the odds are slim. But Kaysar was a name that I definitely heard from multiple directions, and so that's a name that I'm willing to say, oh, very possible. Other names that were thrown out last night, and that I've been hearing, Paul seemed like a definite, but I guess it's not definitely positive yet. I know that Brent from RHAP is one that he seems to have good information, and so I'm definitely giving him credit and kudos. I hadn't talked to him at all about who he thought was going to be on until late last night. We exchanged a couple of messages, but when he threw out his list late last night, and then he was throwing out hints and stuff, I was like, okay, yes, I've heard this name, yes, I've heard this name. So that all seemed logical. And then he threw out Kaysar, which I'd already heard. So it's like, okay, well, that's one of the reasons. Like, okay, well, he's heard Kaysar too, and I don't think we were hearing them from the same source. So that's why it's like, okay, that seems like it seems pretty firm. Most of the other names that he put out there were names that I'd already heard. And they were fairly common names that people have heard, but he did have a couple that seemed unique that I hadn't heard. He said Amber from Big Brother 16 might be on, or is going to be on. That was a name that I really hadn't heard. I guess, we heard some talk of different potential people, and I don't think her name was one of those, because she was never a huge person in the Big Brother community. She was not a Big Brother. She was a recruit to start with, and so and she kind of was. Her season was kind of marred by the fact that she was getting undying affection from someone the entire time. So it'll be nice to see her get a chance to come back in and be on it. TMZ released a list this morning. TMZ's list was pretty much all names, and there was only like 5 or 6 names. All names we'd heard, except for they said Paulie Calafiore will be on it. Paulie, no way in hell is he going to be on. Now, Cody, his brother, is a name that we were all hearing a lot of names. And that's the name that I think is going to be on. I don't know where they got Paulie from, because Paulie is detested by a large part of the Big Brother community because he's kind of a dick. He wasn't cooperative. Remember, he wouldn't do his thing where he had to walk around in an apron and do the different and wave the flag. And he wouldn't do that. He was just always a con. He was so full of himself. No, can't see it being him. His brother, on the other hand, was seen as a very nice guy. As a matter of fact, so nice that he let Derek win. I think that's who's going to be on. Derek, by the way, I still say no. Brent says he's a maybe. I don't know. I just, if Derek is on it, again, I've already said all this. If Derek's on it, then he kind of is screwing with the fan base game. Is kind of crossed the line, in my opinion, to where he makes less of being a parent by claiming that he couldn't do it because he's too busy. He's got to be a parent, and then he's guess what? I can do it. Screw my kids. I don't know. That's just my spin on it. If he never said that, I might be more inclined to think that he would be on. But the fact that he said it on Dan's Twitch stream when Dan announced he wasn't going to be on makes me think. Ian was another name that came out through Brent that I hadn't seen. All right, Ian. I don't know what he's tied up doing, but sure, wouldn't mind seeing him back. It's an interesting character. Hayden Moss is a name that both TMZ and a couple other places put out, and I had seen it going around earlier. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not I wasn't a big fan of his game. So, but he's definitely a big name. So, could be. Maybe he's got nothing going on. He doesn't have to worry about it. He can drop and do this stuff. That's the key. Remember, all these people had to stop what they were doing for 2 to 3 months. That's a big requirement that some people just can't manage. And so that's why I've always said you're not going to get the caliber of all-stars that you see on Survivor, where you get the best of the best back, or the really big names. There are big names that just can't do it because it's not viable for them. It's not the paycheck is not worth the risk to their job to do it. And so you're going to get a lesser quality overall. Tyler from 2 seasons ago, yes. That's been a kind of a gimme the whole time. Angela was the question. Was Angela going to be back? And now people are saying no. And somebody said to me the other day that, yeah, Tyler made it. We heard that Tyler demanded that she be back on with him if he was going to be back on, and that they said okay, but now we're being told that they said no. Who knows? We'll never know. That's true story behind that. Daniel Donato. There's another pre-Big Brother 10, and I'm just using that as a generic line. I just know that there's a lot of the fan base right now that didn't start watching until 14 or 15. So they kind of identify with a newer cast, old school versus new school. KC is apparently going to be back. That was a name that I'd heard floated out there, and I was like, was she that interesting? Does she check a box, maybe, that CBS wants to have checked as far as certain, I don't know. I hate to say it, that's what they're doing, filling a quota, but I don't know. I mean, I guess there are a lot of people that are KC fans. KC didn't do much in the game as far as I'm concerned. She pretty much just, was there, was a strong competition, but she beat out Tyler because Tyler didn't have apparently the best jury management. I mean, that's all I can say. So, okay, I'm not upset Casey's on. I'm just not excited Casey's on. If these all end up being true, by the way, remember, this is all speculation. Let's see, who else am I thinking? Davon. Apparently Davon is, everybody's saying the name. We're all hearing the name. If she didn't have the commitment, she'd be dumb not to be on, but no one is saying she's a lock. So, but again, she'd be dumb not to be on. She should be in high demand. She should have been able to demand a little bit more than the average house guest to be on the show. Hopefully she's done that. And hopefully she's on. Let's see. Any other names that I can think of off the top of my head? Now, Bailey. Not Swaggy, but Bailey. Swaggy said he's done. Was he done? I don't know. His name hasn't popped up on a lot of the lists since he said he was done, but Bailey's name has shown up as a possibility. And, the one I heard about yesterday was Christmas, yesterday morning. I don't know. Now, bear in mind, the source is like, okay, well, that's okay, I'll go with the source. I'll believe the source is the person that told it to me is, in the media. So I'm thinking they must have a good source if they're throwing that name out to me. I'm just surprised if she's doing it, because she has a little baby, or a young child, very young child. And she had a run-in with the law in 2018. So that'll get brought out, at least by some people. I mean, obviously, I just mentioned it right now. So it was to do with her ex-boyfriend, the father of her baby, and her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend, kind of a thing, and kind of a road rage kind of thing. It just was strange, and yeah, I mean, I think the worst she got was out of it was probation or something. It wasn't like she went to jail or anything, but yeah, it doesn't look pretty. So that will get thrown around a little bit, as I just did. Enzo's name got thrown out there. I know that people had said it, and Brett said he wasn't sure. That's a name to throw out there that one may not have heard. What else? Josh. So you could have Josh, Paul, Christmas, possibly, all on it. And the numbers, I don't know. Are they going to do 16? Are they going to do 14? Are some of these names backups in case someone else tests positive? Because in theory they should all be in California or somewhere quarantined today if they enter the house on August 5th, which is the date I've always gone with, or I've been going with since I was told that date. Will they get tested? If anyone tests positive, obviously they're out. They're not going to let them in, I wouldn't think. They wouldn't take a risk with that. So it's potential that some of these people may not be able to play once they've been tested. Although I would also think that they may have said, look, if you want to be on, you go get tested right now. And if they came back negative, then it's like, now just stay safe until you get out here and we'll test you again. So my guess is that most of the names that we've heard as likely positive names are, or likely names to be on it, have already tested negative at least once. At least if I was CBS, I would have done that as a prerequisite to signing anything. And have been told to stay safe and stay out of the, did I mention Nicole? Did I mention Nicole? Frazel, whatever the hell you say name is. Oh yeah, that's a name too. Not happy that name is on the list, by the way. I wasn't a Nicole fan. I'm tired of Nicole. I don't need to see her again. So, yeah. Although, she's engaged now, so she won't be able to get in a showmance with somebody in the house. and target the other women. She may be able to target the other women, but it won't be because of her feminine wiles that she'll be able to get rid of more other women, as she kind of did in her previous times in the house. What else? I don't know. We'll see more. We'll see something from CBS maybe, in the next few days. Maybe they'll start teasing stuff now that they've got them under lock and key, in theory. And I would imagine they're going to have them start recording promos and stuff. I mean, that's what I would be doing while they were sitting around saying, all right, we're going to have you guys do promos that they can manipulate in case people aren't able to be on. Probably a bunch of individuals. I don't know if they'll let them congregate at all. Remember, this is All Stars. They've probably been pre-gaming. They've probably been talking. They all knew who was potentially all going to be on. Of course, I'm sure some of them were screwing with the others' heads. I'm sure that there were people that aren't going to be on that were pretending like they were going to be on just to mess with everybody else's heads and gather information. Remember, All Stars on Big Brother 7 was a fairly competitive game. Now, there was pre-gaming that went on. There was definitely pre-Big Brother 7 alliances and things like that went on, specifically like Will and Boogie and Erica and I think Janelle. I think the four of them were supposed to have had a big alliance, which paid off for them. So there could be these big alliances that have been formed, but in either case, these people are going to be playing hard. They want the money. It's not just a friendly, let's get together and do this. There still is a big goal at the end, something to win. And these people will, while they know their reputation may depend on about how they look, the feeds may not be incredibly interesting or controversial, but the gameplay, the actual gameplay, should be fairly hardcore and cutthroat. So that could be fun. And some of these people will know. They're all going to be very camera aware. And so it will be a different kind of live feed than we've had for the last few years. But at the same time, it could be fun. Oh, wow. Yeah, like Danielle Reyes would say Rosebud on Big Brother 7. And that was a shout out to TV Clubhouse. That was a shout out to the original website I helped moderate way back when. I don't think she will do anything like that this time. I don't think she has an affiliation with TV Clubhouse at this point in time. It'll be interesting to see what kind of shout-outs things get. Big Brother Gossip Show will not be one of those places getting a shout-out. Not seeing it happen. We have absolutely no affiliation with any of these names. And I would gather that 99% of them have never heard of the Big Brother Gossip Show. And that's okay. I don't need the validation. It's nice, but I don't need it. All right, I have arrived. Sorry, this is going to be a long, rambly kind of a thing, and I think I hit most of the names. Again, things will probably develop today. More clarification. I'm going to give a shout out to, once I have their okay, I'll give a shout out to a couple of the other people that were giving me information. I'm not claiming to be some guru at all. And Brent is just the easiest one to call out because he threw them all out there last night as far as names. So, yeah. I think I have arrived at work, and frankly, I don't know how this... Oh, there's a big, huge air conditioning unit over here. I'm going to sign off because otherwise I'll walk by a big, loud noise. All right. I'm done. You guys have a good morning and the rest of your day, and I will talk to you later if I have more news. I don't know. Yeah. Interesting and exciting kind of a day to get that thing going. I still think 2 weeks from today is when the house guests will enter the house. All right? Have a good one, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.